Yes. That's right. Welcome, welcome, dear ones. So we'll wait a few more minutes for a few more folks to jump on. And in the meantime, if you have not yet grabbed some water or some tea, highly recommend. I'm always a fan of water, and I will be the permissionary taking sips of water. Because I was going to say when you're doing a sound bath, you have to drink water, but actually, I'll just change that and say when you're a human, you have to drink water. So, I've been doing my best to hydrate today. Hopefully, you have as well. And just some reminders for what you're going to need during this time together. I recommend that you have space around you. We're going to do a little bit of stretching, nothing too wild, but we'll be moving our bodies a little bit. So make sure you're wearing comfy clothes, that you've got a little bit of space around you to move. And I also recommend that you have whatever you need for the sound bath nearby. So if that's maybe a cushion for under your knees or a pillow for under your head, maybe a blanket if you're not hot and sweating already like I am. So whatever you might need, maybe an eye pillow, something lovely like that. And I also recommend, if you have them, using noise canceling headphones, especially for that portion, but really for any time during this evening together. It's really nice to allow ourselves to drop into this space and receive and allow everything else happening in our world to take a little break, take a little breather from all of the to-dos and simply be. So the noise canceling headphones can help with that. And the other thing that you may want is a piece of paper and a pen. Now, this is optional, but I highly recommend. We're going to be in our ritual tonight. It's going to be a bit of a guided journey, and then I'll invite you to come out of it and take a few notes if you like. So I recommend that. Again, it's optional, but recommend it. So we'll wait maybe just another moment or so. And those of you who are here, I would love to know in the chat where you're calling in from. And want to extend you an invitation to, if you're not sure, it's one of my practices these days. We're going to talk a little bit about decolonizing, all the different ways that I'm slowly but surely making tiny little baby steps in learning what that means. And one of the things that means to me is inviting in more of an awareness around the land where I live or the land where I am, and what tribes, whose territory that was and is, I should say. So if you're not sure about the native peoples on whose land you're inhabiting, the link I just dropped in there is a really great resource. You can type in your area code, your zip code, or your town or your city, and you can actually see it's an interactive map, and then it can actually take you to the websites of the native peoples. It's a very, very cool resource. So I'm coming to you from Washington State, what is now known as Washington State, and I'm on what is now called Vashon Island, which is the unceded territory of the Puyallup and Coast Salish tribes. And I'm slowly but surely learning about them and really feeling into the energy of this land. And yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Santa Barbara. Yes, it's Chumash land. So beautiful, that area and the Chumash traditions. Beautiful. Issaquah, Washington. Okay, fellow Washingtonian, welcome. Aaron calling in from Santa Cruz, the unceded territory of the Owaswas, yes, Owaswas, yes, beautiful. Oloni, Aichista, beautiful. Yeah. So that's an invitation to take forward in your lives. And if you feel any sort of pull or tug or curiosity around that, really recommend that you spend a few moments on that website, bookmark it for yourself. It's a very cool resource. Yeah, beautiful. Laura, yes, I can resend the link. Thank you for asking. There it is, native-land.ca. Yeah, Duwamish and Suwamish Native people, yes. Layla on Ohlone land, beautiful. Yeah, some are not seeing it. I think it's going to all. Let me just, let's try this again. Everyone, how about that? You know, you'd think after all this time on Zoom that I would know a thing or two, but you know, you work with what you got. So, yes, let me know where you're calling in from, whose land you're on. And I would also love one word to describe your day and one word to describe your energy in this moment. So, one word to describe your day, one word to describe your energy in this moment. And I love this just as a way for me to put my finger on the pulse of how y'all are doing and what your day has been like up until this moment. And the day is not yet over. Blessed be, we have this new moon to ritualize and celebrate and invite in this beautiful monthly opportunity that we have to rekindle and reaffirm and re-clarify our direction and our intentions moving forward. Yes, so we have integrating, beautiful, love that word, full and sleepy, excellent. Carly, you're in the right place, my love. Caitlin on the land of the Keys, renewal, beautiful, yes, renewal, blessed be. Settling and grateful, sunlight and grateful, yes. Warmed, connected, excited. Productive, somewhat depleted. Okay, well, sometimes those go hand in hand, don't they? Busy and happy. Okay, I like that. Good, good. My day up until this point was full. And in this moment, I'm feeling warm and grateful. Yeah, warm and grateful. Well, welcome. Whether you have been here with me before for one of these rituals or not, I welcome you and I thank you. I recognize your time and your life force energy is precious. And so it is my intention to use this time wisely and to give you some really good tools, concepts, ideas, and offer what came through me and what comes through as I researched. I always like to research a bit the new moon, and this month we're in the new moon in Virgo. So we're going to be working with earthy Virgo energy and also working with this idea of changing seasons, right? This is a particular time in the year when we get a new moon that is the final new moon of one season, in this case summer, moving into the autumn, the harvest season, the fall. Yeah, beautiful. Hi Mara, good to have you here, sister. So some of you know me from here and there and here and there. Perhaps it's in Santa Barbara, my yoga community there, my choir community there, Maybe it's my online singing community. Maybe you are a client. Maybe we met in some ritual or ceremony work. Maybe we are colleagues or collaborators or co-creators. And wherever you are coming in from, thank you. Thank you for your time and your energy. And we'll speak really briefly for those of you who don't know me or haven't been here before. My name is Britta GreenViolet, and I am a conscious leadership coach and creative mastery mentor. And what that means for me in this particular moment in time is that I am passionate about helping creators and seekers and visionary leaders. And what I love doing for them and for you, because if you are here, I trust that you fall into that beautiful web in some shape or form, is learning how to speak your truth, learning how to liberate your expression, learning how to befriend this beautiful body temple that you live in, learning how to speak and express and create from the heart, how to speak and express and create with a courageous, open heart, and really how to bring your most sacred contribution into the world. And that, of course, looks like many shapes and sizes, and all are welcome here. So I believe that really how we show up in the world matters, right? And how we show up in the world isn't just our vocation or our work. It's how we're expressed in our body and in our mind and in our spirit. And it's how we travel through the landscape of each and every day of our lives, how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, and what our daily experience looks like in terms of doing and being. And this is especially relevant to this new moon, in which we're going to be talking a bit about this Virgo energy, which is so juicy and has some really great qualities to teach us about. So before we dive into what's entailed in this Virgo new moon, I want to speak a little bit more generally about the new moon. So for those of you who perhaps haven't been here with me before, or want a little reminder, or aren't really that clear on, what this whole new moon energy is about, I think about the new moon as the monthly opportunity to hit the reset button. And if we think about the seasons as archetypes, right? So we have summer, fall, winter, spring. And then we also get this beautiful mirroring, as happens in nature in so many different facets. We get this mirroring with the moon cycles and how they reflect the seasons in terms of the archetypal seasons. So the new moon is actually the archetypal winter. It is the time where we are reflecting, we are assessing and reassessing, and we are visioning for what's to come. And so I'm such a big fan of this process of reflect, assess, and then intend and vision, because without our sacred yeses and our sacred nos, without really taking stock of what have I created, and how do I feel about that, and where am I right now, and what needs to happen, what needs to alchemize with this past creation, what do I need to release, what am I calling in order to move forward toward my most sacred contribution. And this really isn't about control. I always feel like it's important to say that. And in fact, I touched a little bit earlier, and we'll talk more about this idea of decolonizing our lives and really our productivity and our schedule. There's so much that we do unconsciously, that comes through these loudspeakers of should, and comes through these lenses of society. And they don't come from nature, right? They come from the shadow of the human mind. Now, of course, the human mind, blessed be, is also brilliant wisdom, intelligence incarnated. And yet, like all things, it has its shadow elements. So this new moon opportunity is really a harnessing. It's a harnessing of nature's wisdom, of nature's rhythm. And it's like we ride the coattails of nature, of these moon cycles. And why wouldn't we do that? It's like taking a quantum leap instead of a baby step. Now, I am a big fan of baby steps. My work is all about baby steps and the occasional quantum leap when I can get it, right? So it's imagining ourselves as sailors on the sea. We want to harness the wind, right? We don't want to just be paddling and paddling and paddling. That's exhausting. So harnessing the wind is really what we're doing here. And I always like to say a small shift in the compass moves the ship by miles. So while we are using this new moon to really propel ourselves forward, what my intention always is with the ritual and with the sound bath is also to bring an infusion of love, an infusion of heart, and an infusion of connectedness into this daily experience, and give you a little something, whether it's a tool or an inquiry or a practice, that then you can take forward in your daily life. And those are the baby steps, right? So they work really beautifully together. So the Virgo energy that we are going to be working with tonight is the earth sign. And of course, there are many qualities of Virgos, and shout out to any of my Virgos. If I have any Virgos here, feel free to pop your name in the chat. We'd love to celebrate you. So this energy is practical and grounded and industrious and organized and methodical, among other things, right? And that is all so helpful in our lives, because how often do we feel a little bit chaotic, right? And we want a little bit more of that Virgo energy to come in. All right, we got Mara and Lara as our Virgos in the house. Welcome and happy early birthday or belated birthday. Happy birthday to my Virgos. Yes. So we also have, when we're talking about the Virgo, we are also talking about the archetype of the Virgin energy. And right off the bat, I want to say that Virgin we think about as strictly this sexual, sensual terminology. But I want to invite us to look at it more symbolically. So think about the Virgin archetype as the archetype of purity, of simplicity, of heart and soul and body, holding this sacred, pristine container. And that doesn't just mean in the body. We can also think about that in terms of virgin ideas, virgin concepts. So new thought forms, right? New ways of being and doing. Those also fit into this virginal archetypal energy. And when I was crafting this ritual for us, what was really coming through for me as I sat with this energy was divine order, what I ended up calling this gathering tonight. And there's some really, there's some really interesting concepts here, because we can think about order as something imposed, right? And order, we can all probably think very quickly, not have to work too hard to think about scenarios where order is created out of a place of oppression, where order is actually oppressive, right? So there's that to really hold. So it's not that order is the ultimate goal. Divine order, right? Now there's something interesting. So as we talk about from chaos to divine order, that also invites in this archetype of chaos. And when I think about that, what comes up for me as the archetype is apocalypsis. And this is an archetype I've been working with pretty deeply over the last year and a half. You can imagine why. The state of our world has felt very apocalyptic in many, many ways. And so the real invitation is, again, not from simply chaos to order, but really thinking about what is it that we have control over? And is this truly a problem? Right? So chaos is a beautiful example, and we're going to be working with these two energies tonight, chaos and divine order. And we could even put divine, I just want to point this out, in front of chaos. We could say divine chaos and divine order, because chaos, entropy, is a natural creation, destruction energy of the universe, right? So it's not that chaos is bad. And when we make it bad, that's us working from the mind that is coming from the boxed in perspective of the oppressive thinking, the sameness, the power over, right? So this is all of these things were really coming up for me as I was sitting with this Virgo energy. What would it look like for us to declutter the mind, the body, the spirit, to decolonize our outdated ways of productivity, right? Those patterns that govern our daily lives, where are they coming from? If they're coming from my connection with all that is, with spirit, with Mother Earth, with nature, then I can trust it. If not, more and more these days, I'm leaning into questioning. So discernment, dismantling these outdated ways of being so that we can shift into an aware way of being. It's really shifting from this outdated way of doing, rather, into this awakened, aware mode of being in our lives. So that's the theme we're going to be working with tonight. And I'm really looking forward to it. These are really, I'd love to hear if in the chat, if this is resonating with you, if you are feeling like you're following me and like you're resonating on some level with feeling into this question of what's the chaos in my life? Is it divine chaos or is it inflicted chaos? And the order in my life, is that divine order or is it oppressive, imposed order? So, love to hear if you feel like sharing. And we are going to, after I take one more sip of water, because I'm a little warm over here. Yeah, it's good. The water's good. we are going to move in a moment into our embodiment practice. And with our embodiment, we're going to be working with the energy of alignment, because as we're also thinking about order, really what my work feels so much about these days is attunement, attuning ourselves again with that higher wisdom, with the deeper consciousness, and allowing that to fill my sails and to push my ship in the direction, and trusting the direction because it's coming from a place that isn't here, that is actually outside of me, and I'm simply letting that beautiful divine energy, whether it feels chaotic or it feels orderly, to let that travel through. Yeah, thank you, Laura. Feels like oppressive order currently. I really feel you. I just went through the most beautiful, horrible and beautiful process of building a new website, which if you're on my email list, you probably heard about it. And what a journey that was. And really, I got to, in the very end, this short story, and then we're going to get into our embodiment. In the very end, I came right up against looking at what I have been swearing that I'm putting all my energy against, and going in the opposite direction, which is trying to fit myself in a little tiny orderly box when you don't fit in a little tiny orderly box. I don't fit. You don't fit. We don't fit, because we are infinite, wise, intuitive, ineffable, unspeakable beings of energy and of spirit. And you can't put the essence of a soul and the essence of a soul's life work into words and pictures and a color palette. So that's one of the lessons I learned again recently. And who knows, maybe I'll learn it again, but I'm going to do my best to really let that one just stick in there this time. We're funny. We are really funny. Okay, my loves. So if you have not already, clear your space around you so you have some room. And let's start by taking a tall seat if you're able. Now, if you're sitting on the floor, great. If you're sitting in a chair, great. All good. If you're lying down already and you're exhausted and you cannot be bothered to sit upright, I honor you. I trust the wisdom of your body. Trust the wisdom of your body. And I trust that you can take the guidance that I'm giving for this movement and make it your own. So if you're lying down, make it feel good. If you're sitting in a chair, make it feel good. This is all fluid, right? We're moving with this earth energy. So the very first thing I'll invite you to do if you're seated is to move the flesh of your seat out of the way so that you can really feel your sits bones sitting down on the chair or the cushion or the floor. And if you're lying down, maybe, rolling your shoulders, just making sure that you're really rooted down. So finding just this initial place of rootedness and groundedness into Mother Earth. Yeah, and from this place, let's bring our hands together in front of the heart, pressing your two palms together. And go ahead and close your eyes, and let's start with 3 slow, deep breaths in through the nose. Easy sigh out the mouth. And And again, in through the nose. See if you can take that inhalation all the way down into your belly. Sighing it out, nice and easy. And one more, in through the nose. Let your shoulders relax, soften your face. Feel yourself get a little bit taller through your crown, through your seat, through your spine, through the back of your neck. And then take a little bit of distance in between your hands, keeping them in front of your heart. You're welcome to open your eyes if you want, or you can keep them closed. And we're going to raise the left palm, lower the right palm, right in alignment with your center. Taking a deep breath, stretching your arms up as one ends up pointing straight up and the other ends up pointing straight down. And then exhale as you come back toward the center. Pausing again at the heart. And then inhaling the opposite hand up toward the sky as the opposite hand goes down toward the floor. So aligning the movement with the breath. Coming into the bottom of your breath when the hands are at the heart. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, left hand floats up, right hand floats down. Keeping them in alignment with the center of your body. Exhaling as the hands come back toward the center, and again making this work for you. If you have any sort of restrictions, just make it work for you. One more time. Inhale, right hand up, left hand down. Feeling the center line of your body. Feeling yourself being aligned, and exhale, coming down toward the center. Beautiful. And let's take another inhale. This time, bring your hands out to your sides and take a breath here, simply stretching your shoulders back and imagining that you're pressing your hands into invisible walls to your left and to your right. See if you can drop your heart, drop your ribs while you continue to keep your shoulders down, your hands energetically pressing outward. And then on the exhale, pressing the hands, keeping your hands flexed, keeping your wrists flexed, pressing your arms out. Simply keeping your hands up. They're going to be pressing as if there are walls out to the sides. And then flipping your hands down. So now your palms are facing back toward your body. Taking a few more breaths and simply noticing how much of a stretch you can get just from doing this. Feeling how the more you bring your palms in, the more you bring your fingers toward your palms, the more of a stretch you get in your upper arms, in your forearms. Yeah, and then bringing the hands back up one more time and noticing the stretch you get in the bottoms, the undersides of your arms and your forearms. And then inhale, bringing the arms toward the center. Interlace your fingers and then press the hands out in front of you. And again, really working with alignment. Feeling the center line of your body. The center line running from left to right, and also the center line running from front to back. Seeing if you can balance your torso in that place as you keep stretching. And then let's inhale, take the arms up. We're still interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms toward the sky. And exhale, gently bringing the arms down and back in toward the heart. And let's take a moment and simply give our wrist some rolls, both directions. And I know a lot of us spend a lot of time on our computers these days. Talk about oppressive ways of being and liberating ways of being, right? This is that beautiful dichotomy, chaos and order. They can be happening at the same time. And it's really important to take care of these bodies. Ooh, yeah. So if you find a juicy spot, just spend another moment flexing, stretching, maybe stretching your hands back. And doing it with both hands. Just letting yourself do this for a moment. This not in a quick passing way, but in a way where you actually get to feel the pleasure and the release. Noticing the tension that's there, right? Let's work our way up the left arm for a moment. Little self-massage, little self-love. You can bring your hand down onto your knee if that feels good. And no need to go crazy, just working your way up and down your arm, giving your muscles some love. Maybe making kind of a flat little fist, giving your muscles a little gentle, loving pummeling. Feels really good in the forearms, especially if you are working with your hands, if you're on the computer, if you're an artist, if you're a musician. Yeah, beautiful. Give it a little rub, and let's move to the other arm. Little self-massage. Taking some breaths. Letting it feel good. Letting it be pleasureful. And this too can be ritual, right? The new moon and the full moon are such beautiful invitations for self-care. So taking a moment, loving up on your body, noticing if there are really tender spots, spending an extra breath, an extra moment there. Giving yourself permission. There's nothing else for you to do. We're just massaging our arms. That's what we're doing. And then the gentle pummel. Making it feel good. Ooh, yeah. That forearm. I don't know about all of you. And a little gentle rub. Shake your arms. Shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them out. Shake your underarms. Let that beautiful flap around. It's all good. Thank you, arms, for all you do. Letting that energy move out. Beautiful. So we are going to do just a little bit of breath work before we move into our ritual, and we're going to do some Nadi Shodna, which is a pranayama practice. So what this looks like is you'll leave your left hand on your thigh. You can have it face down or you can have it face up. And if you'd like to take a Yana mudra, which is the thumb and forefinger together, which symbolizes the one and the all coming together. And that can either be face up or face down, depending on whether you want more receptive energy or more earthy, grounding energy. So perhaps face down would be more appropriate for today, but you feel into what feels good for you. And then with your right hand, you're going to bring your your first and second finger down toward your palm. And then you'll flip your palm to face your face. And this is alternate nostril breathing. So this is also working with this idea of alignment and bringing us into a beautifully, divinely organized place where we feel a sense of balance in the right and the left hemisphere of our brain. So we're going to begin by covering the right nostril and breathing in through the left. And then you're going to plug the left with your ring finger and you're going to hold for a minute at the top. And then you'll release your right thumb and exhale out the right. Inhale right. Hold at the top. And exhale left. Inhale left. Hold at the top. Exhale right. And as you're doing this, you can bring your inner gaze to your third eye. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. We'll do one more round. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. And release your hand. Bring both hands face down on your thighs. If you want to bring your thumb and forefinger on your right hand together as well. And keeping your eyes closed and keeping your seated posture. Keeping your breath at the forefront of your attention as we move into some reflections. And we're going to begin with chaos. And I am going to invite you to think about your life right now, the landscape of your life. And I want you to think about where chaos is present in your life. Where is chaos present in my life currently? Allow it to be there. There's nothing you need to do about it. This might be in your personal life or in your professional life. or out in the world. And considering what am I doing or not doing that is contributing to the chaos? What am I doing or not doing that is contributing to the chaos? Invite you to consider, is this chaos truly a problem? Perhaps it is. Is this chaos truly a problem? Do I have any control over this chaos? Do I have any control over this situation? And if it's helpful to envision what this chaos energetically looks like in your mind, in your body, in your energy field, what does it look like? If you could draw a picture in your mind. And if it is truly a problem, and if I do have control and I am contributing, how do I fit into that picture? And finally, what is one shift I could take tomorrow in action or mindset or both to change the pattern of energy? What is one shift I could take in action or mindset or both to change this pattern of energy? Allowing that idea, that concept, that shift, that awareness to drop in, simply witnessing it. Know that you don't have to commit in this moment, but allow it to be there. the virgin idea, untouched. Taking a slow breath to acknowledge what you've witnessed and to let it be okay. It's okay that there is chaos in our lives. This too is Mother Earth. And with our next breath, I'm going to invite you to invite in a new awareness, a new question. Where is divine order present in my life? Where does it feel like there is a divine, artful divine order taking place in my life experience? Allowing it to be there. Witnessing its energetic shapes in your mind's eye. If you could draw the energy of divine order in your life, what would it look like? Checking in on this too. Do I have any control over this sense of order? Is this order because of my own actions? Or is this order given by grace? Maybe a little bit of both. And the inquiry here is, what is one lesson, learning, or gift I can take from this situation and apply it to a situation of chaos? What is one lesson, one learning, one gift I can take from this situation of divine order and apply it to the situation of chaos? I invite you to acknowledge this lesson, this gift, as a blessing. And I invite you to breathe into that acknowledgement. Breathe in gratitude into this divine order in your life experience. Celebrating that you play a role. that divine order is not created in solitude. It is given and received. Divine order is divine collaboration with spirit. Taking 3 deep breaths to allow all of this to alchemize into your mind, into your awareness, into your consciousness. And as you're ready, we're going to slowly transition into our sound bath. And if you would like to slowly open your eyes and take a couple minutes to jot down your one shift from your chaotic situation and your one lesson learning gift that you can apply from your divinely ordered life experience. Savoring that moment of sweet, simple clarity. Letting it be easy. And when you're ready, transitioning down onto your back. Coming into a comfortable position. Allowing yourself to fully receive to fully relax and be held by Mother Earth. Giving her your full body weight. Release your jaw. Release the root of your tongue. Open your mouth if it feels good. Release your shoulders. Release the energy from behind your eyes, your eyebrows, your eyelids. Release any holding in your feet. Soften your hands. Soften your heart. Giving yourself over to the perfect divine order of this moment, or the perfect divine chaos of this moment, whatever is right in front of you, giving yourself over to it.
You don't
way to go next. Pray, listen and pray. You don't have to know what to do. Oh, you don't have to know what to say. Oh, you don't have to know which way
Jena prema kiyo, tena hi prapapayo. 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 Sajagao sanalaya supai. Sajagao sanalaya supai. Sajagao sanalaya supai. Sajagao sanalaya supai. On sangwa he guru, 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 on sangwa. Jena prema kiyo, tena hi prapapayo. 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 Sajagao sanalaya supai. Sajagao sanalaya supai. Sajagao sanalaya supai. Sajagao sanalaya supai. On sangwa he guru, 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 on sangwa. Inviting a slow, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth.
feeling yourself right where you are in this moment. Noticing the sense of divine order that exists in this body, in this heart, in this space, in this moment, and giving thanks. As you're ready, dear ones, slowly coming over to one side, taking a moment in fetal position. Taking a few more sighs if it feels good, if it feels juicy. And then bringing yourself up to a seated position, maybe elongating your spine one more time. Feeling yourself attuned. And if you feel so inclined to share in the chat how you're feeling, how are you feeling after that experience? And any big, juicy, beautiful takeaways from the ritual that you'd like to share, I would love to receive. I'm a big believer in accountability and feel like it's so helpful to state these big changes that we want to make. So if there's something that really came through for you of, this is the shift that I can make, if it feels comfortable, I welcome you to share that with us in the chat. And I also welcome your one lesson or gift or learning that you can really take from the divine order in your life, because we can also benefit so much from one another's wisdom. Follow your intuition. That's right. Oh, it never gets old. And we forget. Follow your intuition. Yes. Thank you, sister. To recognize all of the love around me, for that is my fuel. Yeah. Indeed. I love that. I'm so grateful that you chose to spend this new moon ritual with me. Thank you for giving yourself this time, and it is my hope that you received deeply and that you feel rejuvenated and inspired moving forward. And I'm excited to be in community together. I'm excited to be doing this beautiful work together. And if you haven't checked out my new website, I encourage you to do that, brittagreenviolet.com. There's lots of fun things to see there. There's some original songs on the home page. There are some different programs and offerings that I have. And there is also a link to book a free discovery call with me. And I want to invite you to feel into that. And if it feels like that chaos in your life, that oppressive, enforced chaos feels a bit out of control, and you feel like you would benefit from a divine mirror, I would love to offer myself as that divine mirror to reflect back what I'm hearing from you, to offer a roadmap forward. And of course, if it feels like a fit, talk about how I might be able to support you more deeply as a mentor or as a coach or as a guide. Thank you all so very much for being here. I'm truly so grateful. I feel so good. I hope you all feel as good as I feel. I feel really good right now. And I have you to thank. So thank you. I hope you'll join me again next month. I've been doing this almost every month all year long, and it's feeling really juicy. So I'm going to keep going with it. So I'll be back in October for our first new moon of the official autumn season. And it'll be juicy and deep and wonderful. And who knows what will happen. And we'll go from there. So thank you, dear ones. Reach out. I would love, yes, beautiful, love to hear your feedback. You're also welcome to email me. Love to hear your feedback there as well. So thank you so much, beloveds. Remember to drink some water. Yeah, hydrate yourself. Hope you have a good, deep, sweet rest tonight. And may this new moon propel you in a quantum leap forward into your next evolution of consciousness and awareness and courage in your life. Blessed be. Happy new moon, loved ones. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. So grateful. Yes, loving seeing your comments. Yeah, thank goodness for community. Thank you, dear ones. Take good care. Bye-bye. See you next time.